Welcome back to the Twist of Fate podcast, where you can find your inspiration to make your dreams come true.
It's beautiful. I really like this place, yeah.
Take two.
If you want to watch the rest of the episode, you can catch me on the Twist of Fate podcast.
My name's Olga Namer, and I'm a comedian, a stand-up comedian. Yeah. Comedy. I loved acting, and I really wanted to be a comedic actress, or I don't know. I liked Wedding Crashers, and I don't know. I guess I just wanted to be an actress. So then I went to acting school, and then acting school, the teacher it was like drama, and every time I had a dramatic scene, the teacher would she'd yell at me, and she's like, "Why don't you just go and take a comedy class?" like that. And I thought a comedy class was like comedy acting, because I didn't really grow up with stand-up, because I was a religious Jew, and we didn't have cable, so I didn't know what stand-up was. So then when I Googled comedy class in New York, and then I took that, and then the teacher was like, "You're gonna have to go on stage," and I was like, I don't want to do that. But then he's like, "You have to." So I was like, fine. So I did, and then people liked it. I was like, oh, all right. As I was doing comedy, I discovered comics, because I really didn't know any comedians whatsoever. So then people are like, you have to look up Bill Burr and Louis C.K. And I was like, oh, they're so funny, But I didn't know they existed before I started comedy. So the worst advice ever, I'm not sure if it was totally advice, but I was talking to a comedian, and he was like in it for a while. And, I started, and I was just like, happy. I still had like hopes and dreams of I was like, oh, I could date and do comedy. And then the comedian's like, that's impossible. You can't be married and do comedy. He's like, show me one person, a female that has that. And I was like, I didn't know a lot, but I was like, Joan Rivers. And then he's like, yeah. And then her husband killed himself. Do you want that life? And I was like, I feel like at the time, I was like, okay, this guy's like bitter and sad, but I feel like it made, when someone says something and you're like, that's not true, and now it's like in my subconscious mind, and I wish that was never like a thing, so that, even though, it's hard to date in comedy, but I wouldn't, I guess that was like advice, he's like, just, you have to focus on comedy, and you could also have a life, I think. I know. I had a show in Crystal Springs, and then I met Tracy, and we had a wild, crazy night talking about, I don't know what we were talking. It was just fun. We crashed a wedding, got kicked out. Well, got kicked out. We didn't get kicked out. They kicked the other person we were with out, because he was a boy, and they only wanted. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, it was a fun night. And then Tracy messaged me to do the podcast, and because I also had a comedy show there. I don't know if I said that. And then that's how I met Doug, through Tracy. I guess I'm excited to hear what he asks me, because I don't know. I don't think anything I do is interesting. So if he's asking and he's like, oh, that's interesting, I'll be like, oh, okay. You know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it.
You want to discover.
So I'm interested to know his questions. Hi, I'm Olga Namer. If you want to watch my full episode, catch me on the Twist of Fate podcast.